Breaking news in the Rock feed just days after the release of his first new album in 4 years. One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. Marilyn Manson has dropped that high-profile multi-year defamation lawsuit against his former girlfriend, actress Evan Rachel Wood. You'll recall back in early 2021, Wood posted a statement accusing Manson of abusing her for years, allegations Manson would deny. After that, multiple other women came forward and made similar allegations against Manson, which were chronicled in a documentary through HBO called Phoenix Rising. Weeks before the release of that documentary, Manson would file this defamation lawsuit. And last year, there were a lot of claims contained in his suit that were pulled out of the case, gutted by the judge. He was appealing that. And now Manson has ultimately dropped the entire case, including that subsequent appeal. We now have reaction from both Evan Rachel Wood's attorneys and Manson's legal counsel as well. Here's what we know. It's been less than a week since Marilyn Manson released his first new album in 4 years, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. He signed a new record deal with Nuclear Blast after previously being dropped by Loma Vista Recordings in connection with the allegations. And when those allegations were first made by his former girlfriend, actress Evan Rachel Wood, questions remained about whether Manson's career would continue. We got that answer years later, in early August of this year, when Manson announced his comeback, releasing the first single from this album, As Sick as the Secrets Within. He was also announced as support on a tour with Five Finger Death Punch and Slaughter to Prevail. Wood reportedly first started dating Manson when she was 18 years old and Manson was 37. Then, in early 2021, Evan Rachel Wood shared a statement on Instagram, which has since been deleted, writing, "The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I am done living in fear of retaliation, slander, or blackmail. I am here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives. I stand with the many victims who will no longer be silent." Manson would be dropped by his record label, Loma Vista Recordings, and removed from a TV series, but he would quickly deny the allegations against him, writing in a statement, "Obviously, my art and my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners, regardless of how and why. Others are now choosing to misrepresent the past. That is the truth." As I mentioned, the lawsuit was filed just before the release of an HBO documentary by Evan Rachel Wood called Phoenix Rising, and one accuser, Ashley Smithline, appeared in the film. The legal saga between Manson and Wood wasn't without shocking moments, like when Smithline publicly recanted her allegations against Manson, accusing Evan Rachel Wood of manipulating her. In a sworn declaration submitted to the court, she wrote in part, "I succumbed to pressure from Evan Rachel Wood and her associates to make accusations of rape and assault against Mr. Warner that were not true." But Wood, through her attorneys, denied that they ever manipulated Smithline into making the allegations. And over the years, there were multiple settlements as well involving the accusers against Manson. And now, according to Rolling Stone, we've learned that Marilyn Manson has dropped the defamation suit against Evan Rachel Wood, and attorneys on both sides are reacting. The report states, Marilyn Manson has dropped a lawsuit he filed against Evan Rachel Wood and abandoned a related appeal, attempting to revive his previous defamation claim. Now, as is pretty common with this type of civil litigation, Evan Rachel Wood's attorneys say that behind the scenes this past spring, Manson was attempting to settle the case, but one of the issues they got hung up on was that Manson wanted the terms to be confidential, something they didn't agree to, with the case now being dropped. The report says that Evan Rachel Wood's attorneys said in a statement that Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner, had sought to settle the lawsuit this past spring. At the same time, he was appealing a judge's rulings against him. His initial offer was to pay a portion of Wood's fees in return for keeping the settlement confidential, other than releasing a mutually agreed upon statement. Wood rejected this offer. Her lawyers say she did not want to agree to confidentiality or the other terms. Warner subsequently agreed to drop his suit against Wood completely and pay her full lawyer's fees. Evan Rachel Wood's attorney said in a statement, Marilyn Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner, filed a lawsuit against Miss Wood as a publicity stunt to try to undermine the credibility of his many accusers and revive his faltering career. But his attempt to silence and intimidate Miss Wood failed. As the trial court correctly found, Warner's claims were meritless. Warner's decision to finally abandon his lawsuit and pay Miss Wood her full fee award only confirms as much. Now, Marilyn Manson's attorney Howard King is telling his side of the story in a statement to Rolling Rolling Stone. He said, "After 4 years of fighting a battle where he was able to tell the truth, Brian is pleased to dismiss his still pending claims and appeal in order to close the door on this chapter of his life." Now, in addition to dropping that lawsuit, it's been reported that Manson will be covering the full attorney fees for Evan Rachel Wood to the tune of a whopping $327,000. Now, surely even Manson's decision to drop this defamation suit is going to be interpreted in a number of different ways. I think some people could look at this as Manson feeling as though he didn't have a case and he didn't want to continue that. And when you hear on Manson's side of things, they're characterizing this as him simply putting this behind him. And I think the timing of it kind of signifies that when you look at the fact that this is the very week that he released that new album. It seems to be the message that they're trying to send. And plus, some of the claims in the defamation suit were that this has hindered his career or stopped his career. And now he is moving forward with his career entirely, doing big tours, and the album is out everywhere now. So we'll have to see how this will all shake out, but it seems as though Manson is ready to move forward with his career. We'll keep a close eye on the situation. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and as always, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to Rock Feed with notifications on for the latest news and updates.